Jeff, what was your impression of these respective appearances here from these two CEOs?
Well, you know, there are some profound differences between them. Of course, one, you're dealing with a public health matter and not fraud or overtly, and the other one is an issue of consumer fraud. But past that major difference, you have an awful lot of issues in common. In both cases, you have very weak CEOs that have come in under the spell of highly charismatic predecessors that really carry the day there. And the boards are captured by the predecessors and really done under the succession disasters in both cases. We also have board governance fiascos in both cases. In the Mylan case, there's really no accountability. This is a board, there's no takeover premium. In fact, the chairman still runs that. So having her before Congress would be like having Kellyanne Conway before Congress and then saying you had Donald Trump there. She's truly not calling the shots at the company. In the case of Stumpf, he was a deer blinking in the headlights and clearly did not have mastery. Neither one of them was prepared. Neither one of them showed genuine contrition. Neither one of them showed there was any atonement, any ways to correct for these problems. So it's pretty upsetting. In both cases, there's a huge loss of trust, public health trust and financial trust.
Bradley, are we overreacting a little bit in terms of the reaction to these hearings? Was this just two individuals who don't have the charisma and delivery of some other CEOs in the past, like, for example, Jamie Dimon, or were they just genuinely underprepared and not caring about what they were taking part in?
Well, neither of them was very well prepared at all. In fact, it was pretty unbelievable how unprepared they were. And really watching this was like watching Clinton-Trump. It's like a race to the bottom. You're just watching the train wreck happen as it occurred. Here's the difference, though, between Stumpf's performance and Heather Bresch's performance. In the case of John Stumpf, he at least admitted that they did some things wrong, and there was some contrition there. Heather didn't provide much contrition. And the other big difference was that the Senate committee seemed rather upset about Wells Fargo, but they weren't that upset about the hearing itself, where in the case of Heather Bresch, not only were they upset about what Mylan had done, they were incredibly upset about the hearing itself. In fact, if you watch the chair of the House Oversight Committee, Jason Chaffetz's body language at the end of the hearing, it was really unbelievable. He just kind of went like this, just shook his head. He just could not believe what he'd seen.
I would disagree just slightly with you, Brad, and hi, Brad. That is,
how you doing, Jeff?
It's good to see you. Is that, at least to hear you, is that both of these CEOs managed to accomplish the near impossible, Brad, and that is they managed to unify two of the most fractious congressional bodies and one of the most ideologically charged Congresses, and perhaps the most in our history. They pulled them together. They're singing on the same page, which is pretty remarkable. Jason Chaffetz was still quite critical. And to say that Stumpf was contrite, Brad, I think you're giving him too much credit. In the original Wall Street Journal interviews and the original preparations for the Senate hearings, Stumpf refused to apologize. Finally, they dragged out an apology on behalf of the institution. But did he, like Jamie Dimon, who instantly, by the way, was very candid, very open, truly contrite. Nobody was harsher on Jamie Dimon than Jamie Dimon was. Jamie Dimon sliced his own pay in half. This guy's still making, $19 million and gave the woman in charge of this whole unit that committed these frauds $130 million exit package, and then threw his own board under the bus by saying, well, it was up to them if they want to have a clawback. None of that's a board purview. That's all under the CEO, what somebody the level that EVP makes. So I didn't see the contrition, Brad.
No, Jeff, I agree with you fully, Jeff, on the actual actions. I was just kind of talking about the hearing itself. But the actions that you just described, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right, and that looks terrible.
People get fired.
Bradley, let me just jump in and ask a final question. I mean, are these company-specific issues, or will the CEOs of the companies in their sectors be furious at the poor performances of these two individuals because they fear it will mean wider retaliation from the regulators, for example, questioning whether prices are too high in the pharma sector or whether banks are too big in the banking sector?
I think this was a cold bucket of water for the Wells Fargo board. I know roughly half of that board was shocked at how bad Stumpf performed. So there may be some reconsiderations there, at least being put on a short list of probation, that this board never conducted an investigation. Until yesterday did the board, after the hearing, did they talk about hiring a law firm for an investigation. Now, the Mylan board, nothing will change there because there is no shareholder accountability. The chairman, with a very slender ownership of the company, controls the board through some very weird governance issue in intervention in Europe. This Dutch company, he created a foundation where he controls the board off that foundation. It's bizarre, but it's too long to get into now, but there'll be no accountability at Mylan.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the I right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.